Hey there, Board Game Brody here with Let's Table It, where we get games to the table. Like this one here, Children of Morta, the board game by Lucky Duck Games. And this is a cooperative fantasy adventure game using a shared bag building mechanism that also includes character development as you progress through the story, simultaneous turns, and you will be playing through 7 potential chapters in a story mode format where you will win the chapter. If you do, you move on, and if you fail, you use your stats to upgrade them. Your character gets better, and then you try that chapter again. Here is the game all set up. Each chapter will have its own finishing touches on it, and you will eventually get harder and harder levels to fight monsters that are more difficult, and decisions, become more difficult as well as you progress through the chapters. Everyone has a character board. As you play, you will have enemies that you fight or that fight you, and you'll place them above your board. These 3 areas are the close area, melee type fighting, and these 3 areas to the top right are for ranged attacks. So if an enemy does not attack with range and they are in this area, you will be safe if they are at range because they don't attack like that. But after your turn, they will move closer, sliding the cards down so that they are in the close area contacts, and then they will fight you next time. You can gain talent or item cards throughout the game as well. They are placed below your board in these slots. Besides that, you have your own unique character ability shown and 5 different spots for different actions that you'll be able to take, and I will come back to this here soon. You will start the game with the encounter phase, where you will choose where to move your team and encounter the tiles placed randomly down in these slots. Usually there will be 2 tokens. They are flipped over, and the current leader of the group, which changes each round, will take the highest number token and everything that's listed on there, and all the other players gets the other token. This includes icons of enemies or sometimes other items or cards that you will take at this time. The number of skulls determines the number of enemies that you will encounter. You draw that many cards from the matching deck and place them according to where the squares is shown on that card, which is the left or the right, your close area contact versus your ranged area. Your task now is to fight these monsters. Now, combat then occurs. There is a bag full of different types of tokens, which will change throughout the game as you add better and better ones and take out weaker ones. That will be a decision that you'll make as a team, and you will change this throughout the game. But you will be drawing out 5 of these tokens, and each of them will help you take an action. At times, you will add tokens that don't do anything as well. So, like these dark purple corruption tokens. And they just, cause you to have less tokens to use on your turn. Other times, if, you are stunned by your enemy, you will draw less tokens as well. But overall, don't worry about these. There are some cool tokens that you'll be able to gain, but I'll leave that up to you to, encounter as you progress through these chapters. Players then at the same time perform actions by taking these tokens and placing them on the matching spots on their board. Players can, talk about their plans but cannot exchange tokens between each other. So to take an action, you must cover all the empty spaces that belong to that action. And some actions are just one side of a slot, but other times the more powerful actions require both slots. You cannot place tokens on top of other tokens, so you can only perform the action once. 2 tokens can be used as a wild to be any color and used to take the action that you would like to as well. Your special tokens can also be used as any color. Many actions cost focus, shown by this symbol here. You must pay the focus in order to take that action. Now, you have a focus marker to track how much focus that you have. When you do all of this, you will then be able to perform the action, spin the focus, and do it. All white icons mean it has a fixed value of 1 for that certain action, and the colored actions mean you will roll the die of that color to see the value of that action, with the blue being on the lower end, with the yellow being, a little bit better, and the purple being the best. And you can use your special tokens to be used to re-roll one of your dice as well at one time. Overall, the actions you take will help you either gain resources, which would be rage, focus, shield, or evade, or to attack, which would be melee or ranged attack with possible multi-target actions shown with square boxes. The rage is a shared resource with all players, and you can spend 1 rage to add 1 blue die to your action, spend 2 to add a yellow die to your action, or spend 3 to add a purple die to your action. To get additional dice, you will have, time to spend more tokens. For example, you can spend 4 of these to add 2 yellow dice. Rage tokens are placed in a shared pool, and players will take them from, there as well. Critical results are when the die shows a plus icon in the middle of that, and you will check your individual character to see what a critical roll does for you. If an enemy is stunned, you can remove that stun token to add 1 additional damage to its total, or leave it there so it doesn't attack or move at the end of the round. As you deal damage to enemies, you will place damage tokens on that card until they are defeated. And if you do defeat them, you gain the reward shown on there and the experience points shown on that card. And you will track your experience with your dial. As you are playing through the game, you also will add support cards. They are added to the game so that you can use one of your tokens to do what it says on that card, helping out a neighboring player. And when you do that so many times, you'll get an extra little bonus thing. After all players have placed their tokens and performed their actions, it's then the enemy's turn. All enemies above each hero board will attack if possible. You start from the leftmost enemy and proceed to the right, and you resolve their actions from the topmost action, then go downwards. If you have a stunned token, then they are skipped altogether. You have evade or block, that you can use to prevent damage when they do attack you. But once you no longer have any of those, you will have to take damage, and all evade and block will then need to be used this round, as they are all lost at the end of the enemy's attack phase. After all monsters do attack, you will put your tokens all back into the bag and draw again. You will move your evade or block marker back to 0, gain 1 focus, and starting with the leftmost enemy above your board, you will move them to the most leftmost space unless they have a stun token on them. Then the player to the left of the leader becomes the new active leader for the next round, and you will choose your next location to move your marker to add enemies as shown on the flipped over tokens. If you get to a location showing cards, you will draw one of the chapter cards and perform the explained scenario that card does. Many times these can be harder or tough, but might reward you with, removing the other monsters on your board or gaining money or more experience than you would have without going to them. Your run continues until players win or lose the game, and you win by completing the chapter objective. You lose by one of the players losing health to 0, or that there are no more spaces to add enemy cards to a player's board. Either way, the run ends and you return home to upgrade your characters, adding better cards on slots to do better. Then you will go to the next chapter if you won, or replay the chapter over if you lost. Either way, you keep on going until you complete each chapter to eventually win the game. And, well, that's Children of Morta, the board game, a cooperative fantasy adventure game of fighting monsters as a family. It lets you work as a group to fight, monsters in front of you, but also, when able to help fight, monsters in front of others with ranged attacks. You have a great system for ranged versus close contact in this game. It's easy to know, with the slots that are available on the left and right side of your board. I think they, simplified the attack system, yet made it varied enough that it works very well. What I'm referring to is that you can attack melee or ranged, where, white means 1 value, and then you have the blue, yellow, and yellow, rolling those colored dice of adding 1 to 3 value of whatever action you're taking. And as you progress in the game, you'll want to have more purple dice, as you can, do better things with that. Then you have the rage tokens that will help you re-roll or add more dice to your attacks, make it so you're more likely to achieve what you want to do. You have cards that will help your neighbors out as well and eventually form a bond with them to let you take additional actions to do better in the game. Everyone likes upgrading their characters, as you will be spending money to get better tokens to draw from your bag, but also spend your experience to upgrade your 5 different action slots with better cards for that same action. For example, I use my primary attack a lot, so it's upgraded pretty high. And then many times I've also had to use my range attack, which is the other one that I focus to upgrade on so that I can help other players when they need help as well. Each character also has their own special bonuses and actions they can perform that no one else can, so everyone is a little bit different in the game. After learning how to play the game, it actually started taking less time to be able to get everyone to take through their actions at the same time. And this really helped minimize a long game experience. No one wants that. No one likes that. So this shortens it for sure. Each chapter changed something, so it didn't, feel like you were doing the same thing over and over again. Rather, things were evolving and changing. You felt like you are exploring in the game and learning new things. Tense moments are had with, rolling the dice, and the best way to play this game is making a plan with everyone. Sometimes this means people are helping attack other players' enemies while, putting a hold on your own, while other times it means everyone is attacking, the monster in front of them and seeing, if they have any extra tokens to help everyone else. It's a very fun, cooperative game experience of rolling dice and building up your characters. My kids especially enjoyed this game and felt very involved in, what they were doing and how they could help out. I think the design of the game was very thoughtful, not too complex, but there is enough that you can do different things and be successful in this game. And really, that is Children of Morta, the board game here. Again, Brody with Let's Table It, where we get games to the table like this one here by Lucky Duck Games. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We are working hard to bring to you videos like this one so you know if these games here are ones that you want to get to your own table.